let's see if we can wrap up these remaining 3 problems for this particular game. Now, what I put down over here is this, in the yellow is our master rules, right? This is the sketch of where those certain pieces have to be placed. And then over here in the corner are the rules that we have to have 8 behind 4, and then 6 after 4, 2, 5, and 8 all have to be in the afternoon. Okay, now, what we got in 10 is an extra bit of information / another rule. It says, if the crew cleaned 1st Street earlier than 3rd, then which of the following statements must be false? Okay, let's unpack this. Well, that means in the blue, we have a new rule. 1 has to come earlier or behind 3. So now we basically have this sketch to check and these 3 rules here for our new kind of scenario. All right, now it asks which one of the following statements must be false. Now, this is where strategically I would advise that you would, if you were faced with something like this on the actual test, that I would put a pin in this one, move on, and come back to it later. Because when you're asking for something that must be false, what it means is that you're asking, the correct answer is going to be something that breaks the rules, right? Some sort of organization of material or the remaining pieces, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, placed in such a way that violates one of our criteria here. There's really no sort of shortcut way of getting around this. We have to check every single statement and see if it breaks the rules. So this is going to be a time crunch. We'll work through it together in this video, but practically speaking, pragmatically, I would advise, save this for the end if you are on the test. But let's go ahead and do this, and let's just go backwards. I just feel like switching things up a little bit. Let's start with E. All right, so let's see what happens. Again, what we're looking for is if we follow this scenario here, and then with this additional rule here, are we going to break, the rules? So let's see. The crew cleaned 6th Street on Friday. Well, that means 6 has to go here. Okay, so far so good. Which means, well, we're not breaking this rule right here because it's saying 6 has to come after 4, so we're good on that point. Then, let's see. We know that 2 and 5 have to be in the afternoon, and there's only 2 afternoon slots left, so that must mean that 2 and 5 would have to go here. We could put 5 over here, 2 over there, or vice versa, but either way, our afternoon slots are blocked off. Okay, so that takes care of that rule. Now, are we forced to violate this new 3rd rule? Well, no, right? We could put 1 right here and 3 right there, and that's okay. We're good, right? Yeah. So that basic... Sorry, I was just like, yeah, there it is. It's good. I'm wearing my pink avocado socks today, okay, everybody? So I'm just feeling a little glam. But, yeah, so that means this is not violated. It's not false. We can, in fact, play out the scenario with 6th Street on Friday and not break any of the rules. So that's out. Let me erase these things for a moment. Oops. Let me not do that again. Okay. Oh, there we go. Wait, what? Yeah. All right, so we can eliminate... Where's my pen? Oh, there you are. So E is out. E does not have to be false. Let's try D. I'll try to run through the rest of these quickly because I think you get the idea. But 5 on Thursday. All right, well, 5 goes on Thursday. That means one of these has to be 2. Let's just say, how about that one's 2? Well, then I can say, well, 6 has to come after 4. So, we took care of that rule, right? 5 and 2 are afternoon. 6 has to come after 4. How about put it right there? That's okay. So we take care of that rule. Can we fit this rule? Yes, we can. We can put 3 there and 1 there, and that fits that rule. Oof. Okay, quickly. That is not violated, so that one is not wrong. Okay, what about this one? 3rd Street on Wednesday. Well, if we put 3 over here, that means 1's going to have to be in one of these spaces. How about put it right there? That's fine. So that means this rule's fine. 2 and 5 have to be in the afternoon. How about 2, 5 there? Okay, that works. And 6 has to be after 4. Sure. There it is. No rules broken. So that one's out. You kind of see the idea, I think, at this point. We just kind of go through. It just takes time, but it's not that hard. 2 on Thursday. Let's see. 2 goes here. That means 5 has to be in one of these spaces. How about 5 right there? We could put 6 over here, so that means we fit that rule, and we can do 3 and 1. Boom. Bam. No rules violated. That one's out. Okay. Of course, I did end up going the long way, didn't I? Oops. Which means that if B is out, A has to be our answer. But let's just double check it. If A is the answer, let's see. First 3 on Tuesday afternoon. Well, if I put first on Tuesday, that means 3 has to come over in here somewhere. But notice we only have 2 afternoon slots, so I have to put 2 or 5 in one of those spots right there. So that takes care of that rule. Well, now, here's where we got a problem. I need to put 6 after 4, so that means 6 has to go here. But I also have to put 3 after 1, which means 3 also has to go there. We can't have both in the same spot. This is a contradiction of our rules. So right there, that is out. So if you were smart and went A through E, you would have hit A right off the bat, and oh, there we go, we're done. Yeah. Okay, but so that's the answer. A has to be the correct response. So let me pause this and clean this up just a little bit, and we'll move on to questions 11 and 12. Okay, I'm back. If the crew cleaned 5th, 6th, and 7th streets in numerical order, okay, just stop there. The rest of this is scary looking, what this means. So we'll translate it in a moment. But let's just start with this. If 5th, 6th, and 7th streets have to be in numeric order, that means we'd have to put this. Right? Just take a moment and think about it. Just pause that for a moment, if that's confusing. But we'd have to place those pieces there. So that means we're out 5, we're out 6, and the only pieces we have left to play with are 1, 2, and 3. Well, we know 2 has got to be in one of these, because 2 has to be in the afternoon. So then we have 1 or 3 could be here, and so on, and, blah, blah, blah. All right? Always try to make as many deductions as you can, given your information, before you start hitting the question. So then, all right, let's try to parse this. What is the maximum number of different schedules, as the British would say, any one of which the crew could have had for the entire week? All right, well, it's a little weird. What this really means, maximum number of different schedules, is really translated to meaning how many different ways can I put these remaining 3 elements in these remaining 3 slots? Okay? I know, this is just kind of weird, and again, if your eyes are just glazing over in the test, just skip it, come back to it if need be. But that's just translated, that's what that means. All right, I've got 3 different slots left, 3 different pieces. How many different ways could I arrange these pieces? Well, the way that we handle this is we start with the most restrictive element, right? We don't have any rules about where 1 and 3 can go. They could go anywhere. But we do have a situation where we know that 2, according to this rule right here, right? 2 has to go in the afternoon slot. So there's really only 2 options for 2. It could be Thursday or it could be Friday. So let's just play this out for a minute. So there's scenario 1, 2 goes in Thursday, or scenario 2, 2 goes in Friday. Well, all right. So let's play this one out. Let's supposing I put it in Friday. Well, where can I place 1 or 3? There are no restrictions. I could put 3 over here, or I could put 1, and vice versa. So you can think about it. I've got kind of really 2 branches. I could do 3, 1, or I could do 1, 3. I mean, it really doesn't matter. There's no rules about that. So if I put my thing on, oops, I'm sorry, I messed that up. I meant to put Friday here. Sorry. If I put my 2 on Friday, there are 2 different places that I can put my 1 and my 3. And you can kind of think about it without me mapping it out again. If I put my 2 on the Thursday, well, same thing, right? I can still, it's open-ended where I can put 1 or 3. I could put 1 first and then 3, or I could put 3 first and then 1. So if you think about it, really what we have here are there are 4 different possibilities. I could put 2 on Thursday, or excuse me, 2 on Friday, and then say 3 first and then 1, or I could put 1 first and then 3. So there's 2 possibilities in that scenario, right? Or if I put the 2 on the Thursday, for the same reason, there's 2 possibilities there, which means there's a total of 4 different ways that I could arrange these 3 pieces, and that would get us to answer choice D. Yeah. Okay, pausing this again because this is getting really long. Let me clean this up and handle the last question. Okay, we're cleaned up, and let's see if we can do this real quickly. Suppose the crew had cleaned 4th Street on Tuesday afternoon instead of Tuesday morning. All right, so now we have a rule change. We've adjusted our master sketch in some way. So that means instead of putting the 4 here, let's erase that and fill this out, that we instead put it here. What would happen? Which all and it says, okay, we've made that change, but every other condition stays the same. So we're not going to tamper with anything else in our master sketch, and these rules here also apply. Which of the following statements could be false? All right, let's think about what this means. If something could be false, the wrong answer would be something that has to be true. That's our wrong answer. So let's see what happens. Before we jump into it, when we make a rule shift like that, let's see what deductions we can make. Well, we know that right off the bat here, we know 2 and 5 have to be in the afternoon, and there's only 2 afternoon slots left, so we have to put 2 or 5 here. We also know that 6 has to come after 4, which means 6 is forced to go here. Right? 2 and 5 fit those. The only other remaining open slot that's after 4 later in the week would be here, which means that these 2 slots here would have to be 1 or 3. Doesn't really, no rule change here about which they would be. Could be 1 and 3, could be 3 and 1, we don't know. Okay, but that's a deduction we can make. So let's see, which of these could be false? So we're looking for the wrong answer is something that must be true. Let's look at this. Let's go down the line. A, the crew cleaned 1st Street before 2nd Street. Does that have to be, is that something that could be false? Is it possible that we could do the other way around? Well, let's look at this. Well, we know 1st Street over here, and it has to be either Monday morning or Tuesday morning, and 2 has to be here or here. That means, yeah, it absolutely has to be true. There's no way that we could clean 1st Street after 2nd Street. So this is out, right? Remember, wrong answers are things that must be true. All right, let's see. 2nd before 5th. Well, yeah. Does that have to be true? Doesn't look like it, right? Because it looks like I could put 5 here and 2 here, or 2 here, or 5 there. That's not something that has to be true. So that looks like that's our correct answer. Yeah. Let's quickly go through the other ones and just see if I'm making some silly mistake here, but let's just see. All right, so C, does this have to be true? 3 before 2. Yes, it does have to be true, so that's out. D, 6 before 5. Yes. Out, right? 6 has to be before those. E, 7 before 2. 7, yes, it has to be, because the earliest, 7 is Thursday morning, and 2 has to be either Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon, so that's also out, because that must be true. So we're down to B. I know this video went kind of long. Apologies for that, but hopefully this was helpful.